Welcome to Bookmas, or the 12 Days of Christmas. My name is Tammy, and today we are going to do the first in a new series. And that is the January tag. So, every month has a plethora of month-long observances, made-up holidays to celebrate a variety of things. So, I thought in 2025, every month on the 1st, I would pick X number of days from that month in a variety of subjects and try to match it up with a book. And I'm kicking it off in January. And it would be very easy to do this for multiple years and not repeat anything. It's amazing. It's literally amazing. I knew there was a lot. I didn't expect there to be so much. So, January. And on the 1st is obviously New Year's Day. And to start off the new year, and it coordinates with Jeanette's reading challenge, let's start a new series. And in this case, I am going to start reading the unselected journals of Emma M. Lyant by Beth Bauer. I discussed this in my book club announcement for January. It did not win. However, I think the series sounds charming. They're not extraordinarily long. They are available on Kindle Unlimited. And I will link the book club announcement challenge in the description box. So that would be January's choice. And so the next day I chose would be the 3rd of January, which is Tolkien Day. That's all it is Tolkien Day. And so I was supposed to read this year. I failed. And that would be the literary lives of the Inklings, the Fellowship. And it talks about Tolkien, Lewis, Barfield, and Williams. And it's still sitting on my shelves. And without the notes, it is just over 500 pages. I didn't have time for it this year. So maybe I will read it slowly over the course of the year. But I definitely want to read more. I like the fact that there's pictures, real life photos in here too. So it's definitely on my radar. Okay. And then the next date is the 8th, which is World Literary Day. And I pulled some literary titles from my shelves. So, what did I pull from my shelves? Everything's a little scattered over here. So, first I think everything I pulled I haven't read. First I pulled Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. Beautiful find from the library. Perfect condition. Deckled edges. The only sad thing is that it's a Penguin classic and I don't particularly like the cover. And it's black, so it doesn't go with anything else on my shelves. But, it was $1. So, it was one of those, be smart and pick it up choices. Okay. So the other literature choices I picked from my shelves is Sandition and Other Tales by Jane Austen. This includes The Watsons and Lady Susan. And this whole bind-up is just over 200 pages for all 3 works. I should be able to do this year. And I still do not. As pretty as this box set was, it is one of those cloth-bound hardbacks that is atrocious to the touch and to hold. And I really, before I sit down and read any of them, because they're all the same size, I need to make a book cover because I cannot stand holding these books. They're that uncomfortable to the touch. And then I pulled Brideshead Revisited. I have talked about this in other 12 Days of Christmas videos, so I'm not going to talk about it extensively here. And that was just a random sampling of literature from my shelves. Okay. And the next one is the 16th of January, and that is Appreciate a Dragon Day. And for this one, I've pulled a couple of the vast number of, not vast, I have a number of dragon books on my shelves, let's put it that way. And although there is not a dragon on the cover of this one, I didn't want to, drag out the stepladder and find the other one that has a dragon on it. This is a Dragonlance Legends volume. This is Time of the Twins Volume 1 by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. I have read the Dragonlance trilogy, or is it quartet? That's what's sitting on my shelves in the other room. It's trilogy. And there's definitely dragons in here. And it's in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, so. And then there's a dragon on the cover of this one. This is The Chronicles of Pern, First Fall. This is by Anne McCaffrey. This is the prequel novellas that predate, or not predate, that explain the first book in the series. And that first book, and the series is The Dragon Riders of Pern. The first book is Dragonflight. And I have read one in here. I need to read the rest. They're not long. So, yeah. I need to read these. Okay, and then the other two, I have started this one. I need to restart it and then acquire the rest of the series. That is A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. And I love the cover. And this is a hardback edition. It is deckled edge. I thought there were illustrations in here. Are there illustrations in here? I could have sworn there was, and that's why I had to buy it. Anyway, can't find them off the top of my head, but yes, I want to read this one. Okay, and then the last one I grabbed was the first book in the Inheritance series, that is Aragon by Christopher Paolini. I read this in 2024. It is middle grade. Young adult is a better categorization. Fantasy. There was no language. I completely enjoyed it. It was just a good high fantasy action book that I cannot wait to continue the series. Okay. Next up is the 18th of February. The 18th of January. The 18th of January is Winnie the Pooh Day. Now, if you know me, you know there is a special love of Winnie the Pooh in my heart, to put it mildly. It's just put it mildly. My library has a copy of this book. I did not pull it for this video. That is Winnie, the true story of the bear who inspired Winnie the Pooh by Sally M. Walker. And it was illustrated by Jonathan D. Voss. This is a children's nonfiction picture book. And I would totally read this as an adult. I will read you the blurb. Who could care for a bear? When Harry Colburn saw a baby bear for sale at the train station, he knew he could care for it. Harry was a veterinarian, but he was also a soldier training for World War I. Harry named the bear Winnie, short for Winnipeg, his company's hometown, and he brought her along to the training camp in England. Winnie followed Harry everywhere and slept under his cot every night. Before long, she became the regiment's much-loved mascot. But who could care for the bear when Harry had to go to the battleground in France? Harry found just the right place for Winnie while he was away, the London Zoo. There, a little boy named Christopher Robin came along and played with Winnie. He could care for this bear too. Sally Walker's heartwarming story, paired with Jonathan Voss's evocative illustrations, brings to life the story of the real bear who inspired Winnie the Pooh. If we had kids, this book came out after they would have been age appropriate, but it's probably if people in our friend set begin to have kids, I will probably be gifting this book right, left, and center. And for this special occasion, the 18th of January, I did remove from his storage place my Winnie the Pooh. He's very delicate. He doesn't come out very often. I really have to be upset, or it has to be a really special occasion for me to take him out. He has almost no fur left. As you can tell, he has one eyeball, and it is held in by the grace of God and glue, but he's mine. And he may not be the prettiest version. He may not have his red coat anymore, but he is mine. Yeah, he's definitely mine. Okay, I have to protect him because the dogs will steal him in a heartbeat, and I would be distraught. To put it mildly, I would be distraught. Okay, next up would be the 24th of January. And the 24th of January is Change a Pet's Life Day. Now, we all know Dave and I have a bunch of dogs whose lives are definitely changed. Kahlua and Felicity were rescues. Fireball was not. The dog Fireball came after. He was a rescue. So our cat was a rescue. We honestly almost always have a rescue. So we have definitely changed and will continue to do so. And for a book recommendation, I have read parts of this series. It has a stop and a start because I think publishers changed. I have not read the previous version of the book, so I'm going to recommend Muzzled by Eileen Bradley. This is the first in the Kate Turner DVM series, and it's available in Kindle Unlimited, and I will read you the blurb. On a house call one wet spring morning, veterinarian Dr. Kate Turner rescues a family hamster from a vacuum cleaner, then visits an estate whose owners breed champion Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. Instead of sharing traditional tea with the couple, she confronts a bloody scene of bodies and 27 blue ribbon dogs running wild. Police initially suspect a murder-suicide, but when Dr. Kate proves the famous Best in Show champion is missing, a darker reality intrudes. She remembers her grandfather saying that there are two motives for murder: love and money. While treating local pets, Dr. Kate discovers suspects and motives everywhere in this charming town filled with people who wanted the couple dead. Was the couple murdered for money? Their champion could bring in to another breeder? How is their daughter, anxious to rid herself of the pampered dogs, handling the wealth she inherits? Would the celebrity filmmaker living nearby killed to end the multi-million-dollar lawsuit? Did long-buried personal secrets cause the deaths? And what's going on at the office behind her back? Is Dr. Kate now in danger? So, I really loved the Eileen Bradleys. I have read, and it drives me nuts that they're all related, but they broke them out. So there's the Dr. Kate mysteries, and then there's a new publisher, and now they're called Dr. Kate Vet Mysteries. Just put them all together. So I have read Last But Not Least, Leashed, and it doesn't list the first book in the series. Here we go. First book in the Dr. Kate the Vet Mystery series is Saddled with Murder, which I have not read. So you can read these out of order. These are cozy mysteries. Are they groundbreaking? No. Are they fantastic? Just, bite-sized cozies filled with animals? Absolutely. Easy recommendation. Next up is the 27th of January, which is Spouses Day. And as you all know, Dave, wonderful, sweet guy, not a reader. So not a reader. He does have a couple of favorite books. I have read one of his favorite books. We don't currently own a copy. It got lost in our last move. And I need to get him a new copy, so it's on the shelf. And that would be The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. It is the first book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. It's well known. He loved the movie. He loved the book. He can quote them both verbatim. I thought the movie was nonsense and didn't particularly enjoy the book, but it's Spouses Day, not Wife's Day. And he really did enjoy the book. So it deserves mention here because he did enjoy it. So if you don't know what it is, I will read you the blurb. Seconds before the Earth is demolished to make way for a galactic freeway, Arthur Dent is plucked off planet by his friend Ford Perfect, a researcher for the revised edition of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, who, for the last 15 years, has been posing as an out-of-work actor. Together, this dynamic pair begin a journey through space, aided by quotes from The Hitchhiker's Guide. A towel is about the most massively useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can have, and a galaxy full of fellow travelers, Zapod Bubblebrox, the two-headed, three-armed ex-hippie, and totally out to lunch president of the galaxy, Trillian. Zapod's girlfriend, formerly Trisha McMillan, whom Arthur tried to pick up at a cocktail party once upon a time, Marvin, a paranoid, brilliant, and chronically depressed robot, Veet Vujajig, a former graduate student who is obsessed with the disappearance of all ballpoint pens he bought over the years. Where are the pens? Why are we born? Why do we die? Why do we spend so much time between wearing digital watches. For all of the answers, stick your thumb to the stars and don't forget to bring a towel. It was first published in 1979 and it is reflective of the time in which it was published. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. Next up is National Chocolate Cake Day. Now, I love to bake. Do I bake a lot these days? I do not. However, I could have picked up the, what's it called? The cake book from the library. It's written by Tish Doyle. But I decided not to. I have a number of cookbooks in the closet, or on the shelf, about cake. And I, of course, grabbed one that doesn't appear to have a chocolate cake recipe. But that is okay. Oh, it does have Old Took's hot chocolate, though, which is the next prompt. You can make noise. As he tries to tiptoe by. But there are some delicious recipes in this book. I'm trying to get to one of the pie recipes. Or cake recipes. 128. There we go. Oh, probably help what book it is. Recipes from the World of Tolkien by Robert Tousley Anderson. I have not made anything from this book yet. I picked it up 2+ years ago now for a different project and then ended up not doing anything with it. I do want to bake stuff out of it this year, make stuff out of it this year. So on 128 is Bilbo's 71st birthday cake. Oh, it's a chocolate cake. Or it says, for chocolate lovers, make a chocolate and raspberry version of this cake by replacing, and it tells you how to make it a chocolate cake. So, that works. And it has a picture for Bilbo's birthday over here. It gives you a Lord of the Rings reference for all of the recipes. And it is just a beautiful, beautiful cookbook. So, it also works for the next and final prompt. I just talked about you, by the way. I talked about your favorite book.
Which one?
What's your favorite book?
Hitchhiker?
Yes.
Why?
For Spouses Day. Yeah, that's me. I'm weird. Okay, so last prompt for the January tag is the 31st, which is National Hot Chocolate Day. So there is a recipe in the book for Old Took's hot chocolate, and it says a decadently grown-up take on hot chocolate. This chili spiked toddy is the perfect antidote to a cold and gray wintry day. Yeah. Apparently I'm hungry, sorry. And I can easily incorporate this into my hot chocolate recipe, so that's good. And I have not read anything by this. That's not true. I think I have read one book by this author. But there is a cozy mystery to recommend, and surprisingly, it is not Joanne Fluke. That is the Christmas Cocoa Murder by... There are 3 authors for this. That is Carleen O'Connor, Maddie Day, and Alex Erickson. And I believe they each have a cover to themselves. So Carleen O'Connor's story in this, it's a novella collection obviously, is the Christmas Cocoa Murder. And I will read you her description. So Bain O'Sullivan hopes for a quiet Irish Christmas Hopes for a quiet Irish Christmas are dashed when the local Santa turns up dead in a carnival dunk tank of hot chocolate. Now, instead of hunting down holiday gifts, she's pursuing a heartless killer. Seems the dead Santa was no angel either, stealing neighborhood dogs to guide his sleigh. But was it his holiday antics, or worse, that led to his death by chocolate? And then Maddie Day wrote, Christmas Cocoa and a Corpse. When local businessman Jed Greenberg is found dead with a chocolate lab whimpering over his body, the police start sniffing around Robbie Jordan's country restaurant for answers. Was it something in Robbie's hot cocoa that killed Jed, or was it Coco the dog? As the suspects pile as high as our holiday tree, Robbie attempts to get to the bottom of the sickly sweet murder. And finally, by Alex Erickson, is Death by Hot Chocolate. A Christmas-themed escape game seems like the perfect pre-holiday treat for bookstore cafe owner Chrissy Hancock and her best friend. But when the host is found dead in a pool of hot cocoa, it's up to Chrissy and her team to catch the killer, or escape before getting killed. They all sound great. I'm hopeful my library has it. And, nothing beats a good cup of hot chocolate. At the end of this video, I will post my go-to hot chocolate recipe. I make my own. I don't like the pre-made stuff. It's easy, it's simple, it keeps well, and you can entirely omit the sugar and add sweetener to the cocoa to suit your own taste as you make it. Or you can split it in half and sweeten half of it for, the younger members of your family, and leave the unsweetened half for the adults. So I will put that at the end. So that is January's tag. Hopefully it was entertaining and a good way to kick off the new year. Find anything interesting? Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time. Have the protagonist pop.